Okay. I'm curious if if any of you guys lately have reignited your why. We are laughing because I just said this and then Nicole wanted to hit record. And um I'm asking this because when you're here a while, it's really easy to go in and out of flex and not see like the bigger vision of why you started in the first place. Um, and I think we all have long-term whys, which are probably monetary related, but even small, smaller whys, I think are really can keep you going too. And sorry, I'm looking at the chat too, and they're allowed to change. And like, I'll tell you, saying, hey, we want to own a farm one day or something like that isn't enough to get me out of my funk when I don't want to post and I don't want to be consistent. Like that's just like on days like that, I'm like, okay, I'll just settle. I don't care. I'm good with my life when everyone has their own bedroom. Um, and lately it's just been my little whys have been the gratitude I get to live with each day. So volunteering in school more actually makes me feel a little more frazzled, but at the end of the day I'm so grateful that I get to do that for my kids. Like I was, oh fuck, I'm gonna start crying. I was in school this last Thursday and Hawk lost his tooth. Like, how random that his mom was there when he lost his tooth. And he was so happy because when you're that age anyway, you want, like, who's the first person you want to tell? Your freaking mom, right? And just little moments like that. So I don't know if you guys have actually sat down and reignited your why lately. Like what's coming to my mind too is like putting up a credit card statement that we owe, like helping do that because I know it stresses John out, it stresses me out, like little things like that. Um, and lately too, I've just been wanting to earn more money so I can give to people that are so much less fortunate than me, right? And let God's works work through me in a monetary way. Um, I'm pushy. Oh, maybe you guys, I don't know what's going on the chat. Sorry. And so I don't know if you guys want to share your whys, you're totally welcome to. Um, I don't know if Dana was saying, okay, I'll share about the why. Is that what you were saying it too?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
yeah.
Nicole's being pushy.
Oh,
Just kidding. I was being sarcastic. Well, recently, actually, in that coaching call that I had with one of the, her name was Dana, which was really weird. She's the second Dana in the same day that I met another Dana. And I literally have only ever met two in my life. So that's so strange. But anyways, what was really interesting is we kind of came full circle and I thought not too long ago, actually, I think when I met with you, Bethany, and prior to that, it's always been money. And I thought like maybe there was some shame around that because who wants to say you're doing it for money?
yeah.
Um, Honestly, that's kind of what ran through my head originally. And then I was like, screw it, I can't be the only one. That's got to be it. But during the coaching, what we discovered is it's actually me focusing on the money that I make from it that's killing the joy in it for me. And what brings me passion and fire and gives me my why is doing it without the result of like without focusing on the result of what I'm going to get paid, but just doing it simply for the sincerity of wanting to help people. Because like I literally just quit my job because I didn't care about the money. I just was like, this job is unfulfilling. I need something that fulfills me. So for me, probably a little bit different. Like I really just want to do it to have that sense of community like this right now, but also like feel like I'm making a difference with somebody's life.
No, I love that. It like, and I relate to it because you guys like I'll go into the church and pray every day and one like I show up with like three things that I want help in and one of that is help with getting out of debt, right? And I was reading the Bible. I feel like such a freak saying this because I made fun of people that would like, and what it was is like, it's not that the money part is greed, but it's like when you put what you're passionate about and what your universe, your God, whatever, your gifts, when you use your gifts and pour those onto other people, like the rest comes. So
Hmm.
where I was focused on, like us getting out of debt like that was the goal. It's like I lost the drive and the passion and the gifts God's given me to talk about how this is helping my sobriety, to talk about how much this is helping my kids, to talk about the blessings of being able to work at home because I get to do it while my kids are taking a bath and not it, like the little things like that. And then the money flows because it's coming from here and it's because
Yeah.
it's coming from my gifts.
Yeah. And I think too, it shows, um, like, I think that's why it didn't feel authentic to me before, is because I was driven by the like end goal of trying to make money when, like, this isn't to sound like the wrong way, but I don't need the money. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, obviously I'd love to have money and I'd love to make six figures like you, Bethany, but at the end of the day, if I don't, I'm okay. So that's probably why it wasn't driving me and getting me out of bed, so to speak. And also then I don't show up authentically because then I feel like I'm just like a copy and paste kind of person. I'm just doing what everybody else is doing just to for that end thing. But if I do it from a place of my why, like you're saying, then it's more authentic and I show up in a different way. Just got to figure that whole balance out.
Yeah. Just the
So I
tough
don't really
part.
love being on my phone all the time.
And there's definitely ways not to be on your phone all the time, but even like me sharing my way is not going to be the same for other people. It's taken me frickin' years to figure out. And then even then you get sucked in with crap, I need to do this, but and you have to that's where I do the stack of rocks and make sure that and you guys, if you're unfamiliar, it's like making sure your priorities are filled before your business. Because when you're like if um, Andrew's taken care of before Nicole gets on her live, and her kids are fed and eaten and all gotten like mommy time before she gets on her live, then she's able to get on her live more efficiently for 15 minutes versus trying to go live, telling her kids to please be quiet, asking Andrew to take them outside, everyone coming back in because their needs weren't fulfilled by Nicole first. Does that make sense? So that's what I really, really focus on doing for anyone wondering, wanting to be off their phone too. And I actually I've narrowed down. I would love to work out without being on my phone to get the benefits of that. But I've narrowed down that my treadmill time, which is usually like 35 minutes walking, is my reel making time. And what I don't get done, then it's like I tell you guys all the time, I look at myself as my own boss. Like I pretend I'm like working for myself. And so I'm like, my boss wants this done. I need to get my 2 reels, 4 reels, whatever I plan on doing done in this 35 minutes. So knowing that, I don't spend 25 of those 35 minutes looking for an audio. Okay.
You don't?
No.
I'm just kidding. I
I
spend
used
way too
to,
much
and
time
it
on
keep
that
me on the
crap.
phone for freaking ever.
Yeah.
So that means, like if I can't find one under 1,000 and I'm going on 10 minutes, I use the next lowest audio that I do and pray my boss will be satisfied. So,
I love that.
and then my stories, like even today's stories, they're all pre-done. And I try and just I tell my family it's story time for this. And it takes about I realistically say I need 30 minutes. So that way, when I come up short, it's done more. And I will tell you, not a single person has commented, like, why are you posting your morning routine in the night? Like, no one has asked me that because the people hopping on at night don't even really realize. I mean, even if they're seeing this was posted 2 minutes ago, I don't think they care enough to be like, you know what I mean? The only time I ever look at the timestamp of people is like, what's coming to me is if a friend told me they couldn't come over because they were at their family's house and then I see them XYZ and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? When was that? And I see the timestamp. That's probably when I'd investigate. Um, so I think it's important too to celebrate small wins when you guys are feeling good about something. Like Megan made that form last week or whatever. And it's not like she came in and was like, look at me, look at me. She shared a tip. It was a small win. It wasn't jot form. It's something that I don't
No,
do.
I definitely wanted attention.
Oh, and she came in and shared it and it benefited everyone, right? It just changes the whole vibe of the chat too. And the chat is your guys's, it's not mine. And then the other thing that is super important is your energy and your self-care, right?
I
Like
think
that
it's
is,
important to note too that like when we're talking about your why, like for me, and I think this probably applies to most people, your why is gonna ebb and flow with your season of life.
mhm.
And so like when I started, it was like, okay, well, this is awkward and uncomfortable and I truly hate it, but if it'll make me money, I'll do it. And then I found like a passion in it and I realized I did absolutely nothing for myself ever. I just poured into my kids and my students 100% of the time. So this was just like a fun like thing just for me. My family didn't have to be involved if I didn't want them to be. Like it was literally just something I could dive into and research and have fun with. And now it's kind of like, well, I've made these friends, so now I have to come to these team calls so they'll still be my friends, that kind of thing. So like I think it just kind of ebbs and flows as, your seasons of life just get like you'll have a really like this past fall has been the busiest season of life I've ever had. And so like my Amare business has not been as busy because I'm putting my energy into other places, but it's still really important to me,
Yeah,
but my why is different, you know, if any of that makes sense.
no, it does. It reminds me of when I was first introduced to the Stack of Rocks. Like I did it and I had to, it's in a way, it's like I stepped back from the business because I was doing my business all the time and instead rearranged my family first. So I was just doing less Amari as I figured it out, which made me feel like I wasn't doing it, but I was still doing it more than freaking probably 75% of the people, right? I was just judging myself. Um, yeah, and it just depends on the season of life. I agree. Thanks for sharing that. I also think sometimes when I'm like business is slow, I know that I haven't been showing up fully sometimes as much as I could, and that I've done really well before and can do it again when I'm ready. So for me, that's like a tricky mindset to be in because then like I just like when I get in book mode and just want to read, I'm like, fuck it, I'll pick it up later. And then 3 months later, I'm still reading books till 1 a.m. in the, like going all in with the books and not my business. And all of a sudden, like, I'm like, shit. So it's tricky for me anyway.
I do that too. Right now, I've been rewatching Gossip Girl. It's a sickness. I have a mental illness. And I realize like if you guys know me or if you've seen me on vacation, I am like a psycho back office checker. Um, and so I realized because I got in this like Gossip Girl space, I haven't checked the back office in like a day or two, which is really not normal for me. And then I checked it, and like that's kind of my regrounding back in the business because I'll see the numbers and I'm like, oh my God, it's the 27th, like panic mode, shut the friggin' TV off and get back in here. Um, and I mean it's fine. You can have a couple days off. I don't mean it like that. I just like I mean I get like swallowed up whole by these shows sometimes and completely go non-present. But if you find like this grounding thing that for me, it's like numbers and data and not in a bad way. It's not like I'm looking at the back office like, oh my God, this business sucks or it's the best ever. I'm not looking at anything like that. I'm just looking at the facts and seeing how much more potential could I have for this month.
The other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know who hopped on Jill's calls about carousels, but those are working like reels. So if you do a reel one day, like all of a sudden I see people's carousels on my page. I'm like, what the heck? How's their post on my feed? And it's not moving and realize. So I'm even seeing other people's carousels. And so if you have a reel that did like it has a message on it and you really like your caption, put the caption on a carousel and just throw it out there. You still want to choose a trending audio because that's what gets the reel or the carousel seen. But I generally, for those, I don't search audios. I choose, like, I go to trending audio and choose the lowest one as I play with it. And you
I've
can
actually
use the call to action on the carousels too. Like I tried one out with the kids stuff for Scout, and I think I had like 4 people comment for more info, which is super cool because I don't get a lot of comments on my posts.
I've actually been scrolling through, and instead of a carousel on the Reels page, it was like just a one photo, which I
Yeah,
thought was
that you put
strange.
with, but okay, so the reason the importance of carousel is that same information will be shown to the same person 3 times with a different photo of your carousel.
Okay, wait, say that again.
So like this photo right here, they see today, but
Mhm.
because I have 3 photos on this, next time Instagram shows them, they're going to see the same caption with this photo.
Your
Oh,
carousel, that carousel actually did that to me. Like at
Yeah,
first I
it's,
thought like you had like sponsored it or something, you know what I mean?
oh,
Because every time I got on, it was that same carousel,
oh,
but it was a different picture. And so
yeah,
I had to take a minute and I was like, did she Because I was like, Bethany wouldn't sponsor one. Like that would surprise me if you did,
yeah,
but that must be why they must be doing that.
yeah. So you'll see that. So the ones show up too. It's just that Instagram wants to, and Instagram is taking like analyses of this too. So they see how carousels are working for people. Like, oh, the viewer hit like the second time, but not the first time type thing. We live in a weird world.
we sure do.
I have a question. So when people like your reels, but they don't comment or do the call to action or anything like that, I know Aspen has said she sends a little message that says something like, thanks for liking my reel. Are you liking it just to support me? Or are you interested in the product? But that feels like really not authentic to me. Does anybody else like
I did one today. Do you want me to tell you what I said?
yeah, tell me what you said because I just need some more ideas on like how to reach out
I
to the
said
likes.
she liked my reel and then she followed me. So that's kind of where, and I said, hey,
Yeah.
Kayla, thanks so much for the follow. How many symptoms did you check off? Because that was my reel. It was like 10
Oh,
symptoms or
sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
And that was it. And she said she has too many, LOL. And we've just been having a conversation since. So
Okay.
I was kind of laughing the other night because in bed Andrew and I were talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not great at the reach out. I feel confident when people come to me, but I have a hard time
Oh, same.
hey, and he's
I
like,
will never reach out to anyone. Like they
well,
have to come to me with like the prize in their hand. Like, please take this from me.
mental projector.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
so and Andrew was like, just made it like I've heard John say this 100 times to me. Like he's like, well, when they like your post or something, he's like, why aren't you just saying, hey, thanks for liking my post?
Yeah, John said the
And
same
I
thing
was
to me.
like,
I was
why
gonna
is that
say,
so simple? And he's like, why wouldn't you just say that? I'm like, I don't know. Like I could just say that. Like
Yeah,
it's
John
I
tells me I
know.
need to go do it, and I think that's my block with doing it. Is so I
Because
was
John
gonna
told
say
us to.
because he told me to, and
well,
so
Andrew
it's
Yeah.
says it
always been
too.
my block. Like he told me do Flowdesk. Took me a year to do it, and look where it's gotten me.
Yeah.
Right. And I only did it because I heard it from Jackie, not John, but Jackie and John talk. So
So try it, Megan and Bethany.
Okay.
Well, everybody just try it. Somebody, if they like or follow, just say, hey, thanks, thanks for the like on my posts. I mean, we can add the question of maybe if we're just nervous, if we're just dipping our toes in, we'll just say, hey, thanks. But like I said, like I had the list of symptoms, so it was easy question for me, like, oh, how many did you check off?
I
Yeah.
think what I do, if they're following me and not liking me, I mean, if they liked it and I go to it and I'm like, oh, they're following me too, I'd be like, hey, thanks for the follow. And do like what like I do. Are you here for sobriety? Are you here for holistic like healing?
Yeah.
Versus target the post. But if I go to them and they aren't following me, who gives a fuck anyway? Because they're not following me, is the mentality I'd bring. And I'd be like,
Exactly.
hey, you like my post? Did you have questions about? And then say it. And then what? Or they can't unfollow me because they're not following me anyway. So who cares, right? You don't lose anything.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality I'm gonna bring to it.
I was thinking in context of like owning a store, and then like I'm just standing there and somebody walks up and they're like, "Oh, hey, I like that." And I'm like, "Don't talk to me." Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But then if I put it in terms of conversation, if somebody walks in my store, it's like, "Oh my God, I really love that sweater." I'd be like, "Yeah, oh my gosh, like, do you wear sweaters?" You would have a conversation, not like that. I am actually horrible with conversations, but um yeah, you wouldn't just like put your nose up and like
Yeah.
ignore
You wouldn't
them.
just ignore the interaction that they gave you.
I think this all just goes back to how much we get in our heads, and me too. I'm not excluding myself. I do it too.
Yeah. The other thing I was gonna say, which
Hi,
just
Dana.
the anybody on here who's not doing like the keyboard shortcuts that Nicole told us to do months and months and months ago. I spent a couple of hours at my school today, lesson planning, aka doing keyboard shortcuts. And wow, what a life changer.
Isn't it the best?
Yeah, even like linking on Instagram, like I always had to go to amare.com, then go to manage my carts, then copy my link, and then go back to Instagram. And it just took so long, and to put a link on a story.
Well, and
And now
that's
I can
where
just type in HJ,
I
and there's
was
my link.
resistant, honestly, to the point where I'm like, oh well, I can't post my story right now because then I'd have to go in the back office. And I have to get a link, and
Exactly.
I have to do this.
Yes.
And that's where the keyboard shortcuts, people are like, hey, can I, try Happy Juice? I'm like, yeah. And then I have like the US
HJ link, send.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so handy. So anybody who's not doing that, do that now. Like right this second, whatever you're doing, just stop doing it.
Same with like Zoom links. Like I saved Jill's Zoom link at Jill because if I got to go look for a Zoom link, I'm not coming. It's too much.
It is too much.
Smart. Because even this call, like I hate that I always have to go to the Facebook post, but I finally got in the habit of it today. So I wasn't like searching the chat. I was like, oh, let's go to the post.
Yeah. So I
I
literally
don't
like,
think I know what keyboard shortcuts is.
do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
I'll find the video in our group chat. It's in
Okay.
there somewhere. It was a long time ago I posted about it. I'll go try to find it. Oh shoot.
Sorry, Janice. I don't really like to take directions from people unless it's been months since they told me to do it. That's kind of how I operate.
Mhm. Oh, I do it too. I hate
Okay,
this.
everyone feel good.
I do. I'm excited. I'm excited for what we've got a sale coming up Tuesday, potentially. We have like the workup. I get more excited about the workup for Black Friday than I do Black Friday, if that makes sense. Like I get more excited to create content before Black Friday. Like the prep always just makes me really excited.
Last Black Friday was the first time I did emails, you guys, and oh God, I hate Black Friday because I used to do the influencing work for it. And so when we'd be going out for trees, I'm like, shit, I gotta post this product if I want paid, this product if I want paid, this product if I want paid, and I'd have to have it all up before noon. And I was missing my kids cut down their tree. And so when I started doing this, it became like that. Like I was giving people their links. So getting a form so you can just send out one email is going to be your best friend, especially if you want to be present with your family. I don't know if you guys go shopping or what you do. We always go get our Christmas tree. The only thing not on sale on Black Friday. Okay. Nicole, post this in the thing. I gotta go pee really, really bad.
I do too. I'll see you guys next. Oh, actually, one more thing. Sorry, Bethany, you can go pee.
Yeah.
We're gonna do. Shit, I forgot to make a post. We're gonna do blitzing hours for the next 2 weeks and see how it goes. If people are like showing up and it's helpful, like I'll keep doing it. But It's basically just gonna be me, for an hour on Zoom doing the work that we do, income producing activities. So it can be like a guide or a timer for you. Unfortunately, I know some of you are working. It is in the daytime, but we'll play with it. And if it works, like maybe we can switch some to the evening so that other people can be involved or whatever. It's gonna be a work in progress. For right now, I'm committing to every day for 2 weeks. I'll put the times and stuff in the group. And if it works, it works. But feedback will be necessary if you want to partake. And just a way to keep us all, I guess, consistent, accountable. I know sometimes I need accountability, so that'll be helpful. There is one day I can't do it, and I think Dana's gonna host for me. So yeah, we'll
Cool.
play it by ear, see how it goes.
Okay,
Okay, bye everybody.
bye, guys.